What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Boba Fett 2-pack version, the Deluxe Edition, and you can order this at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. Never had any intentions of picking this up, but now I want to get all the Bobas out there. Not gonna lie, this is amazing 2-pack. Right now I kind of want to get the throne version, but I'm holding off to it. I'm kind of holding off to it, but this is the deluxe version, like I said. So let's unbox this bad boy. It's massive. There's 2 figures inside, and you can find them pretty cheap if you know where to look around. But just it's nice. There's a lot of Bobas coming out, or it's already out. So just be mindful of that. If you're looking for just one representation, that's on you. But look at this. It has its own tray, which I personally do love, because I can just take this out, shove it inside my cabinet. Because I normally take all the accessories and put it in this small bin that I have. But when it's kind of like an intricate accessory, like those fire material or anything, they don't fit, because it's like a tackle compartment for fishing. So they don't really fit. But having this small, compartment that they do include keeps it, kind of tight and together. So I love the fact that they put that in. Now you see the jetpack, and you got a missile, which we are gonna take a look at this accessories in a separate segment, of course, right after this. Get the gaffy stick. Here's the thing, and you got this nice. You can only have that helmet on the exclusive edition, which if you get the 2-pack. And you got the blasters, and again a rifle. Yeah, you got 2 blasters basically for both figures. But right now you can have this for pretty cheap. But you can only get this Boba, this robed Boba, if you get this 2-pack. And right now, again, it might not seem like it, but because it's fairly cheap. But down the line, if they don't release any more Bobas, because it's not the Book of Boba, it's not the most popular show out there, so it might be your only chance to get that like robed Boba version. Just saying. Not saying it's gonna be a maybe. I doubt it's gonna be a grail because of how many Boba Fetts are out there. And you see they get 2 beautiful bases, and one of them has the crotch cradle, which I appreciate, Toys. I wish you have had 2, but I'll take 1 out of 2. I get it. Boba's flying, so you gotta give him that. So let's take a look at the accessories that it comes with. So you get this hologram first and foremost, which he goes into his gauntlet. That looks like, is that Boba Fett? That looks like him, right? Yeah. Unless it's I'm guessing it's him. And you got the is it a codec or whatever code that is. It would have been nice if his gauntlet was actually lit up, kind of like with the Predators, like the classic Predator, because I think that would highlight this this hologram, because they are they're made out of that material where if you shine a light through them, it will be nice. And now you get this like kind of whistling bird effect on one of his like knee armor, which I looked into some pictures. He only wore 1, and I didn't really see any difference between this and what he's wearing now. But at least you can put it here and not take out the whistling bird effect ever again. It is a nice effect if you want to display him like that, because now if you want to give him just a normal look, you don't have to remove, because the whistling effect, really, it's cool, but the plastic that they used is not really, it's kind of hard. So I'm afraid over time you keep on doing that. You heat them up first if you want to do that, because otherwise you might break it. And you got some of the gloved hands here, pretty nicely done, and they share the same hands. Not the one look has not just bare hands or anything. Same gloved hands for both figures. And you get this kind of like a thumbs up version. This is where he is kind of playing around with his gun, kind of cowboy style, flipping it over. So that's a new gesture for his hands. And as you can see here, he got 2 pistols, like a true Westerner. But you insert them on each figure, and you see the trigger is shaped differently. It doesn't have any trigger guard or anything like that. But you get this gaffy stick, where I think before the other figures, he does not have this. Where if you just buy the just the Boba armored version, he does not come with this. You would only get this from the 2-pack, or if you buy a Tusken Raider. I don't know if they're the same. Let me know in the comments if they're the same, because I don't have a Tusken Raider yet. I'm planning to get that when it goes on sale. But now you get this rifle. Was nicely done. You know, if you can see it, it's nicely painted. The stock looks cool. No articulated movement on this rifle as well, but you know, it's as good as you can ask for. And the jetpack, who launches a missile. If you remember from the show, he used this to sink a ship, I think, you know, from when the transport ship. It does have this cool effect as well, where the missile is launching with those smoke. That's pretty neat. And also, now you get this helmet version from a stormtrooper that's messed up. You know, it's damaged. Looks like he got hit pretty hard in the face. And this is actually usable. This is not just something you lay on his feet. It does have a peg right there, where you can insert it in a regular trooper. Right now, if you get the Commander Trooper, you can insert him there, which is, again, a pretty cool accessory if you ask me. And this is the one this is the clean version from that Stormtrooper. So you can interchange them, as you can see there, same way and how to insert them. That is nice. And but yeah, you know, if you want to create a scene where he just attacked them. And this is the stand, which is not sand based, thank God. You get both, which they could have been the same, but they are not. They look the same, but there's subtle differences. Like, this is the armored version and this is the robe version. There's a little bit of a height from the armored version, as you can see there. It's from the back. There's a pile of stones. And now let's take a look at this armor, or non-armor, if we're going with the other one first. But we're gonna take a look at the armored version. You can see he does have a belt that contains a whole lot of bullets, and also overall, you know, his rusty, kind of decayed armor, you know, there. The look, it's not painted yet, which you could get one if you buy the Book of Boba version, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's really tempting right now, especially the throne version. But I'm kind of holding myself back with the way these prices are going on. There's no incentive for me to buy it now. I'll wait, and when the time is right, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up that throne version, because in my opinion, it just looks really cool. Even though that would be technically my 4th Boba, because I still have the I think Return of the Jedi Boba. And on the back, you can see he does kind of have this fabric, which is, there's 2 fabric in here. I don't understand why, but there's one smooth one and this kind of torn up fabric. And on the back, that is there's a this is metallic, so there's a magnet on the jetpack, so you don't really need those 2 holes compared to the other Bobas back then, where you kind of have to. It was annoying. Thank God they did this magnet version, which works really well. And you got everything from his armors, and everything just looks old and rusty. And now this is from the bottom up, it looks the same. He got the same belt, and going up there, he does have this robe. This is the only time you can get this version of Boba. Be careful with that robe though. I have a feeling, because it is black, it's not super tight, but if you leave it in one position for a long time, I bet you it would stain the neck. The default when you get him is that he does have this piece of paper that goes around his neck to avoid that staining. I can't leave it out there because it just looks funny, but I gotta find a way so this is not touching any part of the neck of the figure. Now you see this robe, this hoodie does have a wire around the edges, so when you insert it, You could kind of position it however you want, which is I'll show it later on. But overall, this one, not the most exciting look because it's just robe, but it's there. Now with the head sculpt, I think they nailed the shape of his helmet. I know there's certain instances where it's a bit, it's a bit lower. It's not wide enough. I'm not an expert when it comes to this. It's just through eyeball test. It looks great. The paint application is also amazing. You can see the paint is, being peeled off. You get this metallic feel, even though it's made out of plastic. And it's a beautiful helmet, by the way. You can take this out, and the inside actually has a lot of details in it. It was made so you could remove the helmet and have Boba, you insert the unhelmeted version and him holding this helmet. So if any parts of the inside is working, you got the rangefinder is also working, it would have the just attention to details by Hot Toys. I think that was pretty cool. And now let's get into the unmasked head sculpt. In my opinion, one of the best that Hot Toys has done as of yet. It's beautiful. We all know that the Temuera Morrison head sculpt, dating back from Commander Cody, was one of the strongest one. And this is no different. Basically they took off the hair, made him bald with all the, scars and damages in his face, in his head. They nailed it beautifully, in my opinion. Now in hand, I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little soft. So you see this hoodie right here. It is kind of touching the back of his neck, which again, I would never display this guy without a hood anyway. However, I'm trying to prevent that as much as I could help it. I don't want staining on my figures. Maybe I'll put like a really thin tape so you don't see it on the edges around anything that would touch the neck, on the fabric itself, to avoid doing that. I did that with my Star-Lord, because if you have Star-Lord, the red portion of his collar rubs off to the neck, leaving a red. It doesn't look nice. It looks like he has a hickey or something that is touching his neck, and I might do that here. I don't know if I don't find a better solution, but so I'll take a look. But as far as the head sculpt, man, it is strong. Articulation. So we have two figures. It does, you see that neck, it does come with the neck, so you have some range of movement there. The legs could kick up pretty high, so if you get this and you got the throne version, you can have him sit down pretty nicely. The legs, the knee also can bend. It's there's two points of articulation there. You could raise the hand and you put him on the side. So movement wise, the waist doesn't have much. As you can see here, there's a crunch, but a little bit, there's paddings in here. That's what makes it a little bit more difficult. But the arms itself can move forward and back if you want to. You force it a little bit more. I'm sure you can get most poses that you desire. Now the armored version is no different. From the first one, I know when you bend the elbows, they're kind of pulling and tugging on those thing. This one comes off easily. It's just annoying. Probably can place a blue tack or something, or I'll just leave it as it is. But this one, the hoses does not come off easily, which is cool. Just be careful here with that armor. You could push it up if you want to. Just make sure you are close to the joints, to the shoulder joints as much as possible, to avoid any breakage, because he is a little stiff right off the box. He is a little stiff, and as you can see here, look at that helmet inside. That is nice detail out there, and it pegs in differently, and for that reason, so you could remove it and have him hold it and don't lose any details in it. So split cut boot, pretty good range, double bended on knee, two joints in there. Also the wrist, you got some bicep twist as well. Abdominal crunch, not so much. So let's put him in some poses before we wrap this thing up. So I'm gonna put each character into 3 poses. This is, again, the armored version with his codec or codes, whatever you want to call this. Looks pretty cool. You know, it looks like he's reading it. You got some HUD displays that you are seeing in front of you. Pretty cool, in my opinion. This is the way he looks. And now you got the whistling bird effect. So you can see there, coming out of his knees. And I used the Thanos stand, kind of like the rock that you're seeing behind you. You know, when he put his knee up. Because ideally, when you're going to use this accessory, his knees ideally should be up. You know, like he's actually aiming on something. But hey, that's a pretty cool effect, in my opinion. Now, one more here. So this is him kind of just playing around his gun and looking for his armor, looking at this hologram of himself. And you see him thinking of ways on how to retrieve that. That's kind of like what's going on in my mind when I was doing this effect. You can see all the HUD displays going on around him. So that's pretty cool stuff. And here is the armor version. So this is kind of like fully loaded here from the jetpack, unleashing a rocket from his back, and the flame effect, you know, thrusting him forward with the flame effect also on his gauntlet, you know, ready to fry some stormtroopers out there. If you want him looking loaded and you don't want to leave anything on that case or tackle box that I showed you earlier, you could display him in this pose as well. You know, that's pretty cool of Boba. You know, everything's going on. And this is the rogue version now. He is in Mos Espa. And this is from Book of Boba, I know. But hey, you could use one or the other, right? Like he had this look in episode 2 on Book of Boba. That actually made this version a little bit more appealing because of the backstory, that how they explained it on episode 2. So that, you know, that gave it more appeal. Plus the badass scene in Mandalorian anyway, where he is just wielding this gaffy stick on those poor souls of stormtroopers. So I don't know, man. I just love this 2-pack. And I'm not even, you know me, I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan, but I just love the way they were put together. And here he is, you know, again. And look at the pose that I was able to achieve here, you know, with him holding the rifle, the bend on, you know, the tilting of the head. And this figure comes with the neck. So that makes it a little bit more challenging, but you can raise his right arm pretty high. You can see the elbows are pointing up. So he could kind of scoot down and look at the scope. And at the same time, hold the barrel pretty high. And it is possible because of how this figure is movable. You know, there's no restriction whatsoever on his elbows and his shoulders. That's a pretty cool pose that you could achieve with this figure. And there you go, guys. This is my final thoughts on this Boba 2-pack. It is a good figure. Is it a must-have? I don't even know. You know, there's so many Bobas out there. I would prioritize this because I personally love Mandalorian more than Book of Boba. I'm not gonna lie, I watched Book of Boba. I didn't find it as awful as most people does. I don't know, maybe I just enjoy things, perhaps. You know, I can see why people would have a problem with the show, but I personally don't. With that being said, having this 2-pack is such an amazing feeling, because even though you agree with the show or not, that scene on Mandalorian alone is enough for me to get this. Plus, this is pretty cheap nowadays. You know, like you can go to Sideshow, there's like a sale for 25% off and all that stuff. And it's a 2-pack. And it's Boba Fett. Either your options are this, or you get the repainted armor. Either way, I don't think you could go wrong. It's just that for me, I'm more of a Mandalorian guy. That's why I want this, and I want to recreate, you know, some of the scenes there. Plus, you get this kind of civilian-looking Boba, which I think it's pretty awesome. Does that mean I'm not gonna get the other Boba? No. I personally think I'm gonna get that as well, especially the throne version if I don't get the quarter scale version. Whether you like Boba or not, you hated Book of Boba, you can't deny the fact that as a figure, as a character, this guy just looks badass. He's just so much fun to have to pose around and all that stuff. So with that being said, we combine it with the price it's going for, I think it's a must-have. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have this 2-pack, or if you're planning to get this, waiting for a deal, or you're just gonna go for the Book of Boba version. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.